On page 58, we're studying about generosity, Hanedivut. We're going to learn a few things from Avraham Avinu, who essentially is the father of generosity. This is the one who invented the word generosity. V'alecha litbonen. It's upon you to ponder, to study. B'toldot Avinu ha'atzil. The life of our noble ancestor, Avraham. Asher yasadat minhag hanedivut, that he was the founder of this custom of generosity. Hayadua gam lo'omot ha'olam ad yameinu, and this is known to all the nations of the world up until today. Ve'elav me'achasim et kol hanoda l'tila b'ilchot hachanasat orchim, and they credit him with all the acts of hachanasat orchim, welcoming guests and having guests. I'm not sure if the Christian world is as familiar with this as the Muslim world. It could be that Rabbi Avraham ben Arambam, who's living in a world where they also view themselves as descendants of Avraham Avinu, had a much fonder attitude towards Avraham. I'm not sure that the Christian world really has any relationship with any other biblical character aside from Yeshua, who's not a biblical character. Right? I mean,
it says if your blood, the Arabs say, if your blood sworn enemy comes to you, feed him, clothe him, give him.
So we say these are minhagim that come from Avraham Avinu.
And he's like the polar opposite of Sodom.
The opposite.
Yeah,
the opposite.
Polar opposite.
V'amru balei hamasoret, and the rabbis of the transmission, they say b'derech notarikon. Notarikon is like an acronym, but not really. It's kind of when you slur words together and you come up with a new word. So they'll say the word zaken, an elder. It doesn't mean an old person. Rather, it means zaken is zekana chokhmah. It's a fast word for one who acquired wisdom. So you can have a young person who is a zaken and an old person who is a child, because it has to do with wisdom and not with their age. Biviur pasuk, when the pasuk says in Bereshit, Vayita Eshel, that Avraham Avinu planted an Eshel tree. An Eshel is a kind of tree, but he says Shehu Yasad Minhag, that he established the custom. What is Eshel? Eshel is 3 letters: Aleph, Shin, Lamed. Aleph stands for Achila, feeding people. Shtia, giving drink to people, and Levaya, not God forbid a funeral. What does Levaya mean?
To let the rest lie down.
What?
Lie down, rest.
Lie down. I'll say the word levaya. It means escort, meaning we'll use levayat hamet. God forbid. The classic when you say I'm going to levaya is a person's going to a funeral, but levaya, that means escorting a dead body. There's also the same word levaya for a kala, when you escort a groom or a bride to her wedding canopy. That's also the word that uses levaya.
Well,
when you walk a rabbi out of a door, that's also levaya. So on.
Yeah.
So here, levaya is used to refer to walking your guests out of the house. And many people I see in our community do this. It's a correct custom. Klomar la'achil et haorchim, to give food to the guests, u'lehashkotam, to give drink to the guests, u'lelavotam b'yitziatam, and to walk them out when they leave. You have a lot of things that people do today that are New Age Jewish customs. They have 2 sinks. You wear tzitzit all day long. I don't know, you put up mezuzahs in all kinds of places that don't need mezuzot. People wear 2 pairs of tefillin. Things that are very new Jewish customs. The Jews stay up all night, learn Torah and Shavuot. New things. This is a custom that goes back to Avraham Avinu, walking guests out of the house. And I don't see that everyone in the world does it. It's incredible to me that we're so careful about a custom that came 500 years ago, but not one that came from the beginning of the creation of our people. When you have a guest in your home, walk them out of the door. That's a minhag that Avraham Avinu put out. Make a person feel important. To give them food and drink when a person comes to your house. It's hard, but to make sure you always have some kind of water, a cup of water out there, maybe a cookie, maybe a cracker, maybe a fruit, something that you could. So here you came to my house, at least to offer. You don't have to give, but you never know when a person comes, what situation. And people, I drank something, I ate something, but maybe they're really hungry. Yeah. And it's upon us, when someone enters in our domain, to really take care of them. But I see sometimes people have guests, and they really are uncomfortable with having guests. That person would be better off just not having a guest. That's okay. But I'm not cut out for Achnasat Orchim in that way. I'm better off hosting them in my house, or inviting them for a cup of coffee somewhere else. Or that's the way I do Achnasat Orchim. The person's going to have a guest. Make your guest feel comfortable. Eat as much as you want. Drink as much as you want. Don't. I see they watch the guests. How many times they go to the bathroom? How many times do you check how do they make their bed in the morning? You give them the room for 3 days. Let them do whatever they want for 3 days. Afterwards, it's already their problem. But while a person's there, a little bit of Avraham Avinu. My home, my home is your home. This is an important midah. If you're able to do it, Avraham Avinu, he was the ideal of Achnasat Orchim, but he had his standards. People sometimes think Achnasat Orchim means every schlepper from the street I have to bring into my house. It's a very dangerous thing. There are some people that don't belong in your house. Some people that you can't have around your children, not just your children. Some people you can't have around your wife. A wife shouldn't let around her husband. I'm sorry, the world is the way the world is, and a person must know these things, and I've told you these things before. Avraham Avinu invites people into his house, but he insists that they wash their hands and their feet. Why?
To leave the dreck of the outside.
Very good, and on a philosophical level, on a very simple level. People worshipped the Avodah Zarah. It was part of their Avodah Zarah to worship the dust on their feet. Avraham says, I'll take you in, I'll give you food, I'll give you whatever you want. Don't bring your Avodah Zarah to my house.
How can you worship the dust of your feet?
I don't know exactly what form of Avodah Zarah.
I've heard that before, but I can't picture.
I remember once reading a nice commentary
Mother
about
Earth or
it,
something.
but I don't know exactly what this kind of Avodah Zarah is. But Avraham says, leave your idols outside. A person comes to your table and they use inappropriate language, or they're always telling certain kind of jokes, or they're always cursing. Sorry, do it one more time, and I'm not going to have you back in my house. You're allowed to set some rules in your house. You don't work for somebody else. I was at a Shabbat table now. I was like, how come you don't bring the food faster? You got invited for dinner. What do you? Also, they're your waiter. They work for you. I don't understand. I don't understand. So
many things like that.
So these midot, these people can go to someone else's house for Shabbat. They should be someone else's burden. And you make a blessing. Like you said, Bar Mitzvah, blessed is he who let me be exempt from this one's punishment. Some people, Avraham Avinu let everyone in. He gave them the things that he had responsibility to give them, but also to know to leave some people outside, or some of their baggage can be left outside. In my house, it's not appropriate to talk about these things. There's some people, all they can talk about is politics. And I'll tell you. Okay, you want to talk about politics? That's your problem. You waste your whole life talking about something. Nobody even cares what you think in the first place. Nobody in Washington, D.C. is going to call you up for your opinion on foreign policy. I guarantee. But okay, it's a pursuit of happiness for some people. What happens, sometimes you bring a person to your Shabbat table, and they start speaking like everyone's on their side, and they don't realize you have a new guest you just invited to your table, and they're the whatever opposite party they're from. They feel completely uncomfortable. They feel alienated from the conversation, and then we just lost a person from a Shabbat table because of who? Because of a donkey? Because of an elephant? Because of what? You're supposed to know there's certain things they don't belong. Not that we don't speak politics. You can speak politics all you want, but among friends, certain places they don't belong there. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll speak more about Avraham Avinu's generosity. But essentially, this is an old Jewish minhag. People are going to say the Muslims are the ones who are generous and inviting. The Jews, we did it first. Avraham Avinu is our father before anybody else's father, before any adopted children. We were there first, and it's our mitzvah to be machnisei orchim. And you should know that the Jewish people do this very well. Wherever you go, you can always find yourself stuck somewhere for Shabbat. You're never going to be stuck without a shul that's going to invite you, without a Chabad that's going to take care of you, without somebody's house that's going to look. That's part of who we are. Am Yisrael is that's what we. And now my brother came to be with me in Monsey for Shabbat, and my brother-in-law didn't have another room in his house to give him, so he called up his neighbors. One said, we're going out of town for the week. Please take our house. He doesn't even know my brother. They never met him in his life. Gave him the keys, the combination to the door. The whole house was his for Shabbat. Mikam Chak Yisrael. This is Am Yisrael. It's a special thing. When I came to New York to get married, I didn't just come here. I came with me, my brothers, my parents. You have to stay in Borough Park. Borough Park doesn't really have hotels, and if they have hotels, they're these strange Jewish hotels. I don't know exactly how they work. It costs a lot of money. You have to be there for maybe a week before the wedding to buy things for the wedding. You stay for a week afterwards for Sheva Brachot. And so, my wife called up, it's called a Hachanasat Orchim Gemach. You call them up and they say, we know of 20 empty apartments in New York, and people will let you stay in them for no charge. If you want, you can give a donation to this organization afterwards. Sometimes they have, like in the summer it's very hard to find an apartment, in the winter it might be easier, but we got an apartment with 5 bedrooms. It was an attached house. Somebody had bought a house, and as he became more wealthy, he bought the house next door to him. It's like those attached townhouses they have in New York. And he leaves it empty for when his kids come to visit him from Israel for Pesach with all their kids. He doesn't have room in his house, so he hosts them here. And the rest of the year he says, why do I need to make rent? For $2,000, for $3,000, I should make money up. So I'd rather make mitzvot. And so he sets up his house. He has a cleaning lady that comes every day to clean the house. He pays for everything at his expense. And the money goes to the gemach, not to him. The money goes to the operator who's arranging all these places. There's a house for a holy host, whoever he needs. You don't even see him. You feel like you have your own place. Am Yisrael, we're good with Tzatuchim. We have to focus on this midah and to make it B'ezrat Hashem better. You know, as we grow, there are going to be more and more people who want to come see our Kehillat. And we have to establish a yesod, the foundation of our community, that however much we can, if it's a meal, if we're the kind of people that can host one person, two people, a family, we have an extra bedroom, we have an extra bed, not an extra bedroom, we can host a guy, we can host a girl. We should know who each other are, because that's going to be a building block in making our community go. B'ezrat Hashem.